good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are we today?
Well, thank you. A little bit bleary-eyed. I think there's quite a few sort of catch-up highlights I was watching and what have you. So I'm a little bit tired and worse for wear, but I'm excited on this day 3 proceedings that's going to be broadcast very shortly. How are you, Ravi?
Yeah, I'm fine. South Africa 317 for 4. Du Plessis not out on 55. Bavuma not out on 41. Did you find it interesting that Quinton de Kock came in ahead of Bavuma?
Not at all. I think Coach Boucher kind of alluded to that in his press conference. He said that de Kock was going to come in at 5.
Right.
I think Mpo mentioned quite sarcastically so. But in my opinion, I just thought that was obviously the game plan, and it certainly materialized yesterday.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was just keeping a left-hand, right-hand combination, and so it was a last-minute decision.
I thought that as well. I thought maybe that was why de Kock went ahead of Bavuma, because it was Algar that lost his wicket. But I think I actually like that, because if Quinton de Kock gets to bat with Faf du Plessis and Temba Bavuma for a long time, it's better than him batting with Ngidi and Maharaj for a long time. Yeah, right. Exactly. So it looks like players just about ready to start. Everybody's standing around looking at each other. And the bowler is still warming up.
Without jinxing anything, I mean, do you think we'll be seeing do you anticipate that we'll be seeing some big scores today from our current partner, from the current partner?
First ball of the day by, that looks like Fernando, I think.
Vishwana.
And, yes, and it's hit Faf du Plessis on the pads. Doesn't look like they're reviewing the decision, but the umpire says it was not out. 317 for 4. That looked like it was going down leg with the left-hander coming around the wicket to the right-hander. Let's see here with the replay.
Like it was going down leg.
And to hand high, hit him on the inner upper thigh. So that would have gone over the bails, no doubt about that.
Yeah, inner upper thigh is a nice way to put it.
That's ringing his bells, and he's down on his haunches now as well.
That would have been out in club cricket level, definitely.
Yes. Retired hurt.
Isn't Faf du Plessis famous for wearing a double box?
Yes.
He calls it the Beast or something.
Yes. Fernando around the wicket to Faf du Plessis, angled in again, but this time he defends it with his bat instead of some other equipment.
He looks in serious amount of pain there. Or is he just
he was sitting down on his haunches there with his head between his arms and his hands resting on his bat. So
I don't think he can get hit in the box and not be hurt. You have to take some time out.
Yes, just to collect your.
Overrated.
Fernando around the wicket, and this one is wide outside off stump, and it's left alone by du Plessis. They've got 2 slips in. We'll have a look at the pitch quickly. The cracks don't seem to be opening up. As I mentioned before, quite high humidity here.
Have you guys been catching up with what's going on down under? Australia, India?
Very interesting stuff there. India look like they have a chance of winning this test, which would be a great comeback for them.
Yeah, I watched the last hour or so this morning.
And me too, actually.
To du Plessis outside off stump, left alone, and there's no run.
What's admirable about that match is that India made some wholesale changes, and it seems to be paying off for them. And I think we can certainly find it a bit encouraging if you're a South African fan as well. We've made some changes of our own, and it looks like it's paying off as well.
Yesterday Subhamla came back really, really well after his horrible first day, so justified their selection.
Yep.
And India's
Fernando
Mohammad Siraj, was that his first
around the
test?
wicket and hits the pads of Faf du Plessis. And the appeal is there, but the umpire says not out. It looked like it hit him outside the line, and they take a single. 318 for 4. DRS timer is ticking, and they're going to review.
They're going to have to.
Du Plessis was definitely playing a
Sri Lanka
stroke.
is
So
reviewed. Yeah, he was playing a stroke, and I think it was hitting him outside the line.
it was definitely outside the line.
Yeah.
But so we'll have to go through the whole process of checking with the.
Let's see.
what's
So
it
it
called?
pitches
Spot or the edge.
outside, and it comes back in sharply. It might also be a bit high. So it's umpire's call. Now let's see with the bat and the ball. There's a clear. Oh, no, that looks like the bat and the bat jams the ball into the pad a little bit. It could be. It's going to be difficult for the umpire to make a decision here whether the noise indicates a nick off the bat or if it's just the pad. But it looks like they're going on to ball tracking. So, yeah, impact outside the line, and it was hitting the wickets. So review is lost because of the impact outside the line.
Right. Yes.
But that was good. I would say that was a good review because it's difficult to see in real time whether or not the impact was in line.
Oh, come on, Otto. We saw it wasn't in line.
Yeah, but we're sitting and watching. I mean, you're not you're not finishing your bowling action. You know, I don't know. Well, okay. Sri Lanka have now no reviews left. Okay, so they've lost all three. And Bavuma is on strike now. He defends this one by Fernando into the covers, and they take another single, 319 for 4. So a few appeals there by Sri Lanka, but couldn't get the wicket in that over. So these two, they did a great job for us yesterday. They need to get themselves, either of them, get as close to lunch as they possibly can. If they can do that, we will wipe out the deficit.
True. They've already scored 99 runs in this partnership. So one more for their 100-run stand.
No, that's excellent. That's good stuff. And they both came in like one after the other. They were both on not out when they were at the crease together for the first time. So this is really good stuff from Bavuma and du Plessis, and it's nice to see Bavuma back in the runs a little bit. And let's see if he can convert what he's done so far, because he's done an excellent innings he's played an excellent innings so far.
Yeah, I mean, these two have the opportunity to start up again, so they can forget the runs they've scored so far and just build for today. But they can take the confidence of having faced this yesterday.
Absolutely. So it's going to be Lahiru Kumara from the pavilion end, and he's bowling to Bavuma over the wicket. Drive by Bavuma into the covers. Let's see if somebody's going to stop that. Yes, they've got a sweeper on the boundary, and they take 2 runs. So good work there by Bavuma. Full and outside off stump, and pushed into the covers. Nice cover drive by Bavuma.
Yeah, and there's a 101-run stand. Partnership. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, good job there. And
jingle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations, sir. You are a Centurion.
There we go. I think also you're the only one who remembers the words to these songs, man. I must say, I'm surprised.
Again, this one kicks up sharply off a length, and they take a single. Bavuma had to fend off his grill of his helmet. And so let's see where this pitched. I think it was that crack outside the off stump again, and it was on a good length. And Bavuma is not the world's tallest man, and this one hit him high on his bat, but he managed to keep it down and out of the hands of the slips and such. 322 now for 4. Yeah, hit him high up on the bat and on his glove. Yeah, that's exactly right. Du Plessis is facing Kumara now. This one's defended to the onside, and there's no run. Having a hard, long look at the pitch. As Du Plessis.
Well, we know that the pitch can have uneven bounce. The cracks aren't opening up, but the cracks that are there do. Right from day one, we've seen. Oh, that was quite a bounce, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
That's the only demon in the pitch.
Yup. And this one by Kumara, wide outside off stump again. Too full to hit the crack, and Du Plessis lets it go through to the keeper for no run.
So I have to ask, I mean, what do you think are the tactics of with regards to the South African batters today? I mean, what are we thinking in our minds? If you're Faf Du Plessis, or if you're Temba Bavuma, what would be going through your mind right now? What is the tactic here?
I would, go ahead, Ravi.
I would say that they both need to just keep their heads for the first hour, because they are the last specialist batsmen anyway, so they don't want to give up their wickets. And because of the scoring
outside
rate
the
so
off
far,
stump, left alone, no run. Yeah.
Because of the scoring rate in the match so far, there's still more than half the match left. They've got time. They can take their time. They can bat through the day, and it won't do any damage.
So today is about
100%
batting
agreed.
three sessions, with the tactic of putting Sri Lanka to bat for the next day or two that follows.
Yeah.
First of all, to set up the match, and second of all, to set up the series, because you want to keep these guys in the field as long as you can. Kumara goes over the wicket to Du Plessis, and outside his outside edge there, he played a defensive leave, I would say, there, and no run. 322 for 4.
So, it's also, don't forget, Sri Lanka are a bowler down, so all the time they get kept in the field, it's the worst for them.
Yes. 100%, and this must be one of the highest partnerships batting at what's it, the 5th wicket in a while.
Yes.
We got 100 partnership. We finally got 100 partnership at this
in the
position.
middle order. Yes,
in the middle order. I mean, I certainly welcome any statistics that any of our followers might be able to provide us. I of course will be reporting on our tweets very shortly.
Fernando, round the wicket to Bavuma, played to the onside, 1 run, 323 for 4.
So if anyone's related to Andrew Sampson, or if anybody is a statistic extraordinaire, please
Chris
TB, we need you.
Yeah.
So actually, there's a question from our producer in our own chat box. When was the last time we had 200-run partnerships in the very
Fernando,
same inning?
Outside off stump through to the keeper, no run. Yeah, that is something significant as well. Geez, I can't even remember when the last time we had such a decent batting display.
Mpog tweets and says 100-run stand from Faf and Temba. Really important partnership from these two after the 3 wickets that fell quickly yesterday. Their value to the spine of the batting order is being shown.
Yep.
Correct.
And once again, the guys are playing to their potential. That's all you can ask for. I mean, it's just frustrating, as I said yesterday, when these guys play and you can see that they're not performing to their potential. As Fernando comes around the wicket to Faf Du Plessis, drives this into mid-off. Fielder ricochets the ball out of his hands there, and they take a single, 324 for 4.
So who do we have next in the batting lineup? I mean, it looks like we've got Mulder, Maharaj. Yeah. His average is 7.
Maharaj, Sipamla and Gidi, yeah.
So ironically, Keshav Maharaj is the most effective batsman in the tail end. Sorry, go ahead.
But, I mean, Mulder's average you can't really take seriously because he hasn't had that many games, has he?
Correct.
One would
No.
expect him to be a better batsman than Keshav Maharaj.
Well, Bavuma played this one into the onside for a single, 325 for 4.
Maharaj is certainly no mug with the bat, though. In
Yeah,
due respect.
he needs to step up at test level. He can be a real asset if he can lift his average a little bit and contribute more with the bat. He's going to really make it difficult for the selectors to let him go, even if they're on a seamer paradise. This one
That's
from
right.
Fernando, outside off stump, left alone by Du Plessis, 25 for 4.
I think, didn't Keshav Maharaj tweet that he'd be happy to be captain or something a few months ago? When
Yes.
I think that is not a bad idea at all. I mean, I don't see Quinton adding much value as captain. They should take a chance on Keshav Maharaj.
That could work, yeah. Fernando around the wicket to Du Plessis, who defends this to the offside angle to extra cover. And safely there. 326 for 4.
Oh, that was a
Okay,
tight
so
one.
Faf Du Plessis 56 off 92, Temba Bavuma 47 off 84. And the partnership now 105 runs at 3.79 to the over. And that is the end of Fernando's 17th over. 75 overs gone in the South African innings. So five overs to the new ball. They trail by 70. Look, it's within reach here for South Africa to match the score of Sri Lanka and maybe get like a 20-run lead.
Well, Amra
That'll be
this
great.
morning was suggesting that South Africa should be looking at getting about 500. If they don't lose a wicket, that is a possibility. But these two have to stay in for quite some time in order for that to happen.
Kumara
But-
to Du Plessis, straight to cover, no run. Carry on.
And I think if these two stay in, Sri Lanka's bowling resources are going to be shown up because they don't have that many bowlers now. And even the new ball might not make a difference. I mean, Kumara is their quickest bowler, and they're bowling him at, in the old ball, over 75, 76 of the innings.
Yes.
Because they don't have a choice.
Kumara into Du Plessis, and he defends this back down the pitch, no run. Yeah, so he might get like 1 or 2 overs with the new ball, Kumara.
I think more than that.
How long can he bowl? He's quite an athletic guy. He looks like a strong man. I mean, he's not. Doesn't look like he's going to fall apart at any moment.
He's a big man, but I think what's happening right now, he's basically following the same tactic as Andrik Nortje. Banging it in short, hoping to intimidate the batsman, but that's not really paying dividends at this stage. I think Faf and Bavuma are pretty much set at the moment. They're not easily unnerved at this stage.
Kumara outside off, left alone by Du Plessis, no run.
And that is a complete waste. Why are they bowling so wide outside off? Even the other bowler, what's his name? Fernando, yeah. Left arm around the wicket, outside off. What was the point of that? These two guys.
Yeah, these guys aren't going to.
Yeah,
they're not going to chase wide deliveries now. They don't need to score quickly. They just need to stay there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kumara comes in on the stumps this time. Du Plessis wants the run. Bavuma sends him back, wisely so, to mid-wicket, no run. So,
that's the first run refused for the day, isn't it?
Yes. But a good call by Bavuma. There was no run there. There was definitely no run there. They've been running the quick singles, but that one wasn't on. The ball was already in the hands of the fielder, and when Du Plessis got sent back.
Yeah. Was Du Plessis not watching? It was Du Plessis' call in a sense, but
Bavuma sent him back. Kumara outside off, a bit fuller this time, and this one is misfielded at cover, and they will take a single. No, they take two on the misfield there. So nice running, good work. 328 for 4.
You know the old saying, "Never run on a misfield." This sort of thing just shows how silly such expressions are. It depends upon the misfield. The ball went straight through that fielder. Of course, you're going to run.
Yes, exactly, 100% correct. So let's have a look at the bowling figures here. Kumara bowling is 17th over. He comes into Du Plessis. This one is on leg stump, and it's sort of a checked pull shot there by Du Plessis. They go through for an easy single. So he's bowled 17. This is his 17th over, and he's conceded 78 runs already at 4.63 in over with 1 wicket. And no maidens.
So here's the interesting statistic from Paul Moreke. Vian Mulder averages 39.52 in first-class cricket with 500s and 550s.
Yeah, he can bat. He can bat.
He is in as an all-rounder. He's not in as a bowler.
And to be fair, we haven't had that sort of intervention in a long time. I think we were very reliant on Dwayne Pretorius last year against England to create the same exploits.
Yeah, so that's good to have that competition for spots in the team like we have at the moment. I mean, the way Sipamla shaped up yesterday, he's making it difficult for the selectors to drop him, and that will keep Rabada on his toes and also Ngidi. So that's very, very nice to see. We've got Steerman waiting in the wings, all those guys competing for those 4 seamer spots in the team. So that's great. And Vian Mulder did a great job as well to set up that competition between himself and Dwayne Pretorius. I'd like to see. Okay, here we go with change in the bowling as Shanaka comes in to replace Fernando. He bowls outside off. Du Plessis defends into the offside, and there is no run.
Tasun Shanaka.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
Had to bowl.
Go ahead.
He had to bowl that over that was left over, wasn't it?
That's right. From Rajita.
Who was the bowler who?
Rajita, who retired hurt. Yeah. It doesn't look like he's back in the mix today. We'll try and find out what is the status of his injury. If he'll be able to take part in the second innings, maybe.
Ravi, no Kurta this afternoon? Not
no Kurta this afternoon. No, I'm wearing my Chicago Cubs T-shirt, the one that celebrated their win a few years ago. No Kurta.
Shanaka, 2 slips to Du Plessis. This one also rears up a bit on Faf, and he pulls his hand off his bat as the ball hits him. High on the bat, 329 for 4. He walks to the spot where the ball landed and stamped on it with his bat. Hit his fingers, but right on the splice where the handle meets the bat. So that surprised him a lot. He was playing for the good length delivery there. Shanaka in again. This one is spooned past Shanaka, and mid-off is chasing it to the boundary. Go ball, go! Yes, 4 runs. Faf Du Plessis gets the boundary there, I think. We'll see what the umpire says.
Talk about objective journalism there from we're objective. We just report South Africa, but we try to be as objective as possible. Although I am wearing a West Indies shirt today. I'm surprised you gentlemen haven't picked that up as yet.
Yes.
No, this one was almost a repeat of Algar's wicket yesterday, because that ball was flying loopily past Shanaka, but just too wide for him to get to it. Now they're having a look at the boundary. It might not be a 4. So good work there by the fielder. And his hand is scooping the ball now, feet not touching. Yeah, that's not a 4. So good run saved there.
The wicket has matured into an atypical day 3 batting wickets. They seem
So
to be
ran 3
having.
runs, 332 for 4. Bavuma is now facing Lanka. It's coming over the wicket to him on stump and defended back down the pitch.
You just need to look at that left boot. Where does it? Oh, okay, now he's good. He's good.
Yep.
But the ball certainly is bouncing, and this is an old ball. This is nearly 80 overs old, but it's still bouncing a lot more than they expect. I mean, that stroke by Duplessis was a very dangerous one, actually.
Yeah. And this one to Bavuma on off stump again and defended back down the pitch, no run. So it looked like that one that surprised Duplessis was in line with the off stump. So those cracks are creeping over onto the line, onto the good line, you could say, the line that's targeting the stump. So I think it might be, and that was from the pavilion end. I'll check that for you just now. So if those cracks are opening up where the ball bounces as it hits the stumps, that's going to make batting very difficult.
So there aren't any tweets directly at Guerilla SA at the moment, but I encourage all of our listeners to do so when they get an opportunity. But this is from the SA versus SL hashtag. Bavuma and Faf are looking solid this morning. Hope it stays like that all day. That's from Shivakati Lasuela.
That would be great if they can bat through the whole day. But then we'll probably declare after lunch, I think, or maybe after tea, with a 150-run lead or so. Yeah, that'll be something. That'll be something to see.
Another one.
Hasaranga into the attack.
Another one from the Flope Nyanzanzana. Sorry, I excuse my pronunciation. Come on, Bavuma, let's go. Obviously, there's some Bavuma fans out there in the Twitterverse that are eagerly watching this innings.
First ball by Hasaranga was played onto the onside by Faf du Plessis, and they take a single. Trailed the lead for Sri Lanka now is 63, the deficit. Triple Nelson is on the board, 333 for 4. Bavuma is facing Hasaranga.
You're not superstitious, are you?
And they take a quick single, and Bavuma is there. He's looking for the second, but Faf du Plessis ran almost all the way to the boundary on the other side, 334 for 4. The lead now is 62. The new ball is available in 2.4 overs. So they've taken Kumara out of the attack. Yeah, Bavuma would have been in there as he slid through. Let's see, the ball is, that would have been tight. Eh? The du Plessis inside out here to the offside. They take another easy single. Let's see here, the bat is just about over the line as the ball comes through there past the wickets. And Hasaranga, I think, could have done better to get behind the stumps there. The double hat man is on screen now. I don't know who that is. Hasaranga to Bavuma. He lap sweeps this past fine down to fine leg for another easy single, 336 for 4. So this is good batting against the spin, just rotating the strike.
And not letting the spinner settle down in line and length either. So he doesn't have a stock ball that he can go to.
So a tweet from Diana Patterson at Mrs. Shandy.
Defended by Bavuma, by du Plessis, no run. Yes.
At Guerilla SA, I'm listening attentively, but I'm not witty or chatty at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Sorry.
Thanks for listening. Hasaranga to du Plessis, driven to the onside, mid-on fields this, and they take a quick single. As
You'd be surprised.
The ball again, 337 for 4 is the score.
You'd be surprised how witty you can be after a Glenfiddich whiskey at 1:30 in the morning.
Or at least how witty you think you are.
Yes. Then it might not be a good idea to be on Twitter.
Well, I don't think we can accuse Mrs. Shandy of that, but we do appreciate her dedication. At 1:30 in the morning, is she in Canada or the US?
Possibly the US, yeah, possibly. So at Diana, at Mrs. Shandy, just please share your location with us. We'd love to know where you are.
I think she's in Canada. Historically, I seem to recall, but I don't know. Is there something on the internal chat again?
I'm not sure about the chat. Let's have a
No.
look. No, nothing.
Not on the streaming side.
There's
Maybe
a
if you
mute.
can, Ravi, check if there's some comments on Facebook and YouTube. We're also broadcasting there, so you can watch our radio faces on the streaming side there, and also check the scorecard that we've got up there for you on there. So du Plessis is facing Shanaka again, and he plays this one out onto the onside to mid wicket, and it looks like they're going to run 2.
There's a tweet from Leah. There's a tweet from
morning,
Leah.
Leah.
Good morning, everyone. I slept in a bit after listening to Australia versus India for way too long last night. That's you and me both. And Diana has responded, I am in Western Canada, Calgary to be specific there, Ravi.
I knew it was Canada. I knew it was Canada. Right.
We can do the
1
maths.
million points to Gryffindor. There we go. Sorry,
Shanaka to du Plessis defended, no run. 339 for 4. And this will be the 79th over, 78th over that's now being bowled. Just double check it for you. Yeah. 79th over, sorry. 79th over. So one more over to go after this for the new ball. So they've taken Fernando and Kumara out of the attack, and no doubt they'll take the new ball when it's available. So Sanaka in again to du Plessis, flicked onto the onside, and they're going to have 2 runs here because the ball is being cut off by the man running around from fine leg. That's 2 runs to Faf du Plessis, 341 for 4. Yes?
So this from Morgan Bolton on Twitter. When Bavuma starts padding, I start worrying. Slave to Music is saying here that this Faf and Bavuma partnership, heart. Obviously, love it. And Panduka is saying 2 injuries in the first innings of the first test and the opposition piling on the runs. Sounds about right for the official Sri Lanka cricket team.
Sanaka to du Plessis, and they're out to the offside, no run. They've got 2 slips, a gully cover, and then the man at fine leg. And let's see who else is there. They've got a sweeper on the point boundary, mid off and mid on. So that's the field set for du Plessis facing Sanaka. He's on 70 as du Plessis.
I think we ought to applaud the courage of the Sri Lankans. They're 2 bowlers down, and they're still gamely fighting.
Definitely. Definitely.
Du Plessis to mid on, and there's no run. 341 for 4.
Yeah, that's encouraging. That spirit, that competitive spirit, I should say. It's absolutely wonderful to see.
Yeah.
Our in-house Sri Lanka fan was also quite down on his team when they came here last time, and lamenting their lack of consistency. And it is it's frustrating, as I said before, when your team isn't performing to their potential. And De Silva definitely missed out on a century when he got injured. So du Plessis plays this out to extra cover, and there's no run. That's the end of the 79th over, 341 for 4.
Yeah, but last time he might have been lamenting the Sri Lankan lack of consistency, but they won both tests. Come on.
Yes, I have to say that was before the series started, and in the first few days of the first match.
And they've almost become like South Africa's kryptonite, haven't they? They might lose 3-0 to England at home, but South Africa they seem to against, or at least in the last couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. They were the first subcontinent team to beat us in South Africa.
In South Africa.
So that was a magnificent achievement, and it was a team that I think the Proteas underestimated. Bavuma faces Hasaranga now. He plays to the offside, to mid-off, no run. 341 for 4.
And that was at the time when you still had Vernon Philander bowling for you, and Dale Steyn was also available, wasn't he? So I'm not sure if he was
Hasaranga Bavuma blocked to the covers, no run.
Of course, that first test was just a one-man show, wasn't it? It was who scored that magnificent 100?
Kusel Pereira, right?
Test. Yeah, Kusel Pereira.
Saranga into Bavuma, plays this to the onside, and there is no run. 341 for 4.
So they're 341 for 4. I'm just curious as to what the highest, when was the last time South Africa were anywhere close to this? I'm thinking either against England or India in the first test at the end of last year.
Bavuma blocks to mid-wicket, looks for a run, but there's none there. No run. He faces Hasaranga again. And he lap sweeps this top edge, but it's into no man's land, going down to fine leg. That's a 50 up for Bavuma. The ball is before the boundary.
Well done, well done. Well done, well done.
51. Well done him by his 14th test 50. That is so
you have to sing the jingle. You have to sing the jingle, man. You know all the words to the songs, man.
Well, there's only 2 50 runs. 50 runs. Well done, well done.
Well done, well done.
That's nice.
Did Nick Jagger write those
93 balls and 4 fours for his 51. Hasaranga to Bavuma, again short. And Bavuma cuts this off the back foot, or sort of a back foot drive straight to cover, and there is no run. 343 for 4. And Bavuma on 51, Du Plessis on 70. The fourth umpire, Jele, is there with is it Jele, right? It's Bongani Jele with the new ball. He jogs onto the field to hand it over to the umpire. So it looks like Sri Lanka are going to take the new ball now in the 81st over. And they'll bring back Fernando and Kumara, no doubt.
Twitter is lighting up with mentions of Themba Bavuma right now. I mean, without a question.
That's it.
It's 14 test half century, if I'm not mistaken. Well done, Themba Bavuma. Incredible innings.
No, this is so good.
It was an incredible innings, but it's a very good innings so far.
Yes.
A practical innings, so much needed innings right now.
Yes, for South Africa and for Bavuma himself, it's great news to see him back into the 50s. And we trailed now by 53, South Africa do. 343 for 4, and it will be Vishnu Fernando to take the new ball from the Henops River end, the south side. He's bowling from the south side of the Centurion Park field.
So what do we think will happen with the new ball?
2 slips. Let's see if it swings, but it's definitely going to move a bit through the air. I think with the traditional seam swing, and probably going to nip off the pitch a little bit, as well as we saw with the first with the other new balls that we've had here. Let's see what he does. Left arm over the wicket to Faf du Plessis. This one is just back of a length, and du Plessis defends off the back foot into the covers. Check drive into the covers, no run. So he's going to try and angle this across du Plessis, or maybe get it to pitch on middle and off and come back into him. So that's, I think, where Fernando needs to place this ball, is on middle and off to the right-hander coming over the wicket as a left-handed bowler, and see if he can get the ball to either go to the slips or into the wickets. He comes in again over the wicket, wide outside off stump and driven by du Plessis. He's misfielded there in the covers, and it's a 4. So, of course, the other scenario with the new ball is that it pings off the bat into the boundary, which it did there. I'm not sure if that was a misfield or just good placement by du Plessis. It was just too quick. Yeah, it was just passed in too quickly. Okay. So good shot by du Plessis. 2 full by Fernando, and wide, punished by du Plessis.
So we have some tweets again, this time from Josie Oak, formerly Durban Oak, I believe. If he first starts off by saying, I know somebody in Calgary in response to Diana. Yesterday, he posted a picture of his dog in 2 feet of snow. Wow. Okay, that is a lot of.
Sure. Yeah, that's not my scene. I'm telling you now. Fernando around the wicket now to Du Plessis, and this one goes down the leg side into the keeper's gloves almost, and there's no run. 347 for 4.
Josie Oak again. If Bavuma scores well in the series, will they make him captain? Now that is an excellent question. We'll certainly put that on our imaginary whiteboard for discussion in a short while. And
he could be, because he captains the Lions. He's a good captain at the Lions franchise. So he captains at domestic level. So I wouldn't mind him as a captain if he can pick himself as a batsman. Faf du Plessis defends this onto the offside. You see, the captain has to be like an automatic pick. It's got to be the first name you write down onto the team sheet. So Bavuma needs to just get his consistency right, and he can be captain. I'll be happy with that. Yeah,
absolutely. And
I'm still sticking with Keshav Maharaj for captain. I want Keshav Maharaj for captain.
Yeah, I think we can give him a try. It's just that he's always going to be dropped in matches where we think the seamers are going to do well. So that's why I'd like to also see him perform a bit better with the bat. Fernando around the wicket to Du Plessis through to the keeper, no run. If he can also pick up his batting, then he's an automatic choice, even if we don't need a spinner. We can play as a batsman.
Major advocate for Keshav Maharaj. I would agree with Otto on that point. He's so far to be an all-surface type of bowler, justified selection in every specific
Fernando's
situation.
given up on his over-the-wicket line, and he's coming round the wicket now to bat. So that didn't work for him.
Agreed.
Yeah,
and quite clearly.
2 slips in, and this one is driven to mid-on by Faf du Plessis, and they won't take a single there, will they? No, doesn't look like they did.
We have some more tweets. Temba Bavuma, Temba Bavuma from the handsome Ravi the heavy roll already. He's a gem of a guy. Very nice guy. By mistake when you see it.
Yes, I follow him on Twitter. I quite enjoy his posts there.
And for Moreke, bat on Tizozo, Batman. SA versus SL at Guerilla SA.
What does that mean exactly?
I would need to use Google Translate for that one. To be honest with you.
And MKR Cinema has replied to you, Ravi. So yes. They like your tweet. And Clifford Silezana. Do you know him?
Yes, Cliffy. Yeah, Cliffy works for the Lions cricket team, actually. He's their PR manager, aficionado. And either that looks like an injection or a rocket. You'll need to help me out there, Ravi.
It looks like an injection, doesn't it? Why is he injecting? Or is this,
He's getting the vaccine. He's getting the vaccine. So first ball by Kumara down to Tizozo. Mpo says is Bavuma's nickname. So Temba Tizozo Bavuma facing Kumara now. 49 is the lead for Sri Lanka, 347 for 4. And this ball is on off stump, outside edge, but it goes into that same gap between gully and slips, down to the third man boundary for 4.
We are riding on Lady Luck's back here. But I mean, it's not that Sri Lankans haven't been doing that either.
But this must be like the 15th or the 20th time that we've seen an edge off the bat going exactly through that gap. So why... you might be chasing the ball if you do that now, but a second gully.
But what I don't understand,
a second gully or a gully that was just a little bit finer would have caught that.
But what I don't understand is if you have that gap there, why isn't there a third man? That is a bit perplexing for me. But anyways, I'm not the cricket captain here, so
Kumara to Bavuma outside off stump and gets an inside half of the bat as he tries to drive this, and there's no run. So 350 is up for South Africa.
There's also a question.
I mean,
how
that's
many, of where
Go
you
ahead.
get fielder from to put a third man or a second gully in there, because you've got to cover the rest of the field as well. To have 1, 2, 3, 4 plus your wicket keeper backward of square on the offside is probably enough.
But I think I like having a third man because it means that when there's a streaky shot or an edge, you don't reward the batsman with a 4, and you want to leave that offside nice and open so that the guys are trying to drive you straight and trying to drive through the covers, and then maybe put your boundary fielder on the onside so that you can attack the stumps as well, because if the guy drives you, if the batter drives you with the full face of the bat, solid shot through the covers, that's fine. That's what you want, because you need the ball to do a little bit to get the edge.
That's right.
I'm also not a professional cricket captain. That's just my observations. 351 for 4 is still the score. Bavuma didn't score off that last delivery either.
And I can tell you, gentlemen, that Temba Bavuma is officially a trending item on Twitter.
Oh, very good.
Just below Donald Trump. That's either a good thing or a bad thing.
What did
really
Trump? Oh no, I'll have to wait for Trevor Noah to tell me what Trump did to get on top of Twitter.
You really don't want to look up Donald Trump. You really don't want to look up Donald Trump.
No. I wait for Trevor to tell me what he did. 351 for 4 at the end of that over, the 82nd over.
I've learned a lot from Trevor Noah about the.
If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know, yeah. I had no idea what the electoral system was before Trevor Noah joined the Daily Show.
Kumara is bowling very quickly. He's hitting 147 kph or 91 miles per hour. So it's not as fast. He's a mug with the ball.
Not at all.
But I saw his speeds drop a little bit yesterday. So he's not hitting those speeds.
New ball
bowling around the wicket to Faf du Plessis, appeals for the LBW, and umpire says no, indicates there that it's going down leg, and there is no run. That was du Plessis facing the first ball of the 83rd over from Vishnu Fernando. Let's see here, what did this do? So it's coming in from around the wicket. Yeah, no, that's pitching outside off and hitting him in line with the leg stump. So that would definitely have gone down leg.
That was harsh critique, so I'm not going to go through all of these. But the Sri Lankan fans are ripping into the current bowling attack. When we just remind everyone that there are a few bowlers short at the moment, which has obviously compromised them significantly. So it's out there full strength, the Sri Lankan attack at the moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Josie points out to us that Bavuma's batting in ODIs is very good. You don't have to have the same captain for tests and ODIs. Look how well Morgan does for England. Have Keshav Maharaj as the test captain and D'Souza as the ODI captain.
Fernando in around the wicket, and there is no run. Listen, can one of you guys take over ball by ball, because my dog is going crazy here for the gardener who's sweeping outside. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries, mate.
Yeah, Ravi Reddy will take over, he says 100%. Confidently.
There's a bit of a just a side note, a bit of a delay on my side, but I'll happily do it.
Okay, I'm at the end of the over now. Let's see. Just no, there's 3 balls gone in the 83rd.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Second new ball is 50 overs old. That's what it's saying on the screen right now. I think go ahead, Otto. I'll happily.
Okay. So this one by Fernando was into Bavuma, and he's defended that, and also no run. 352 for 4 is still the score. South Africa trail by 44, and Bavuma is on 55.
I
Bat
think
is on
needless to
75.
say,
He must be
he's
thinking
on
about a
75.
century now.
Wait, I don't know. That's an old club cricketer in me right there, Ravi. I never talk about centuries. I never talk about 50s when the guys are encroaching on the 50 or the $100. I just keep quiet. I
How
remember at
superstitious can you be? You're,
South African club cricketers are very superstitious. You'll have to actually see it to believe it. But I remember I got a hell of a fine because I was saying the guy's on 48. I actually told the captain he was on 48. And unfortunately for the poor captain, he went out on 49.
yeah.
And
Fernando to Bavuma defended, no run.
I drank that night, unfortunately for me, my poor liver. Yeah.
I don't know if Fernando has a plan at all. He seems to be randomly bowling round the wicket, over the wicket, without any set plan for.
He's throwing it on
batsmen.
the wall. He's throwing anything on the wall, hoping it'll stick, right? Yeah. I have no idea what he's trying to do, what his tactic is. But
why over the wicket to Temba, but round the wicket to Faf? They're both right-handed batsmen.
Yeah,
But,
you're right. He
to be
needs
honest,
to settle into that rhythm, into that line and length.
But is the wicket offering enough for the bowlers at this stage? I mean, are we perhaps being a little bit harsh on the Sri Lankan bowlers?
No, but look what they did yesterday when they took those quick wickets. It was because they settled into a line and length, and they got the batsman to doubt whether or not to play the ball, and that's what you want. You want to create that doubt. You want to bring the ball closer and closer to the wickets. See if you can bowl that fourth stump off stump line, and challenge the batter to go after you and just hit that line, that good line and length. If the pitch isn't helping you, you've got to do that. Kumara comes in around the wicket to Faf du Plessis. This one is short and pops up into the air, but safely out to point, even though Faf looked like he tried to defend it to square leg. And they take a quick single, I think they did.
So on that note, Otto, on that note, we have a message from the producer, Mpo, saying that Temba plays straight, so over the wicket would work in that instance. Faf tends to be a lot leg side-ish, so round the wicket will bring in the LBW and possibly a leading edge.
Well, round the wicket seems to be working for Kumara, but he's not the one we're talking about.
Thank you. Bavuma is facing Kumara now around the wicket. He defends this off middle stump. Hopping around in his crease is Bavuma, and there is no run. Another thing that I like to mention whenever Bavuma is batting, there's not a big height difference between him and Faf, not as big as between him and somebody like Dwayne Pretorius, but this to me is almost like a left-hand, right-hand combination when you have a huge height difference like this between the batters, because that will make it difficult for the bowlers to settle in on a length. Kumara comes in.
Temba is hardly even taller than his bat. He's
around the wicket and short over leg stump. Bavuma is now mimicking a half-hearted pull shot, but he swayed out of the way, and there's no run.
And one of the problems with Kumara's line here, since he's bowling round the wicket, is he's ruling out the LBW because it's always pitching outside leg. So while Vishwa Fernando can get away with it because he's left arm, I don't think Kumara is really getting anything out of this.
They've got the guy standing at a shortish fine leg, and they've got a leg slip in again. So this might be what he's trying to do, is to attack the batter's body, but he's going over the wicket now again. All right, okay, well, there goes that. Over the wicket now to Bavuma, and this one is short. Bavuma fends this to the man at square leg. He's standing on the square, so about 3 pitch widths away from Bavuma, and it went straight to him, but all along not very far through the air. Let's see, it bounced once before it reached him.
I think Kumara is just trying to take advantage of the bounce in the pitch and keep it slightly short and see what happens. But both Bavuma and Pfaff are well set and shouldn't be vulnerable to slightly short pitch bowling.
Yeah, and Bavuma faces short pitch bowling all his life, so he's not going to be caught out like that. He's usually caught behind or bowled Bavuma. So Kumara goes around the wicket. That fielder has come in a little bit closer now, past leg stump, and Bavuma lets it go through. So Bavuma's got to leave these balls that are short. He's got to try and leave them as much as possible and sway out of the way and duck underneath them. If he's going to try and jump up and defend now, he's going to bring those fielders into play that's coming closer and around the bat now. So as we saw yesterday, they are now working to a plan, the Sri Lankans, and let's see if this time they can also get the reward, because this is pretty much what they were doing yesterday to Dean Elgar.
True.
Kumara now to Bavuma outside off stump. He defends this into extra cover and they'll take a single.
All right, so we've got a tweet here we've got another tweet from Josie Oak here. Is Otto going to let his dog out and set him on the gardener? I'm confused. Sounds like something from Riot Assembly.
It's a fox terrier. So, asking this dog not to bark is like asking the wind to stop blowing.
So he's a fox terrier, but he sounds like a Rottweiler.
She's a fox terrier, miniature fox terrier. Yeah.
Awesome.
Miniature fox terrier. Good grief.
Yes.
A hell of a voice for a miniature fox terrier. But
yes.
I like Josie Oak's literary reference, Tom Sharp's Riotous Assembly. Perfect. I don't think you've read it. He wrote it in the 60s, I think. It was the first of his books. And it was set in South Africa, so but a strange sort of South Africa. Right, yes, even Harry the Hunter.
I'm not setting my dog on anyone. Fernando to Bavuma, and he plays this into extra cover for no run. No, she's actually a sweetie pie. She's quick to make friends. So she's just a good guard dog. When she hears something rustling behind the wall, she goes crazy. 54-4.
Most terriers do, isn't it?
Excuse me?
Is this going to be...
Most terriers
do,
yeah. Is this going to be our last over then? And then we
looks that way, yes. Fernando to Bavuma. This one scoops up into the air, but it falls safely where the short, fine leg would have been. And he goes through for a single. Bavuma is now on 56. And extras has reached 27. So that's outscored Quinton de Kock, I think. I think so, because it came off his hip there.
It looks like a leg bar.
Okay, so there was no chance of a catch there. The lead is now 41, 355 for 4. Bavuma 56 off 110, du Plessis 76 off 123. And Vishwa Fernando is coming in to bowl his 20th over. He's started already with his 20th over. They're setting the field now. Let's see. It looks like he's coming around the wicket. The left-handed Fernando is in now to Bavuma around the wicket. To du Plessis, who defends this into the onside, and there is no run.
So what I can tell you, gentlemen, is that Temba Bavuma, after 41 test matches, currently has 1,886 runs with the score, from the looks of it. I may be mistaken, but because I see they haven't changed the number of 50s yet from 13 to 14, but it looks like he's still sub 1,900 runs.
Oh, good.
Getting to that next milestone. Fernando full on middle stump and flicked away by du Plessis. to the onside behind square, and that's a leg by. So he tried to flick that, but it just clipped his pads. It was full and on leg stump, and clipped his pads and went past the keeper. Coming across.
We encourage our followers to share the tweets and sort of statistical insights and analyses with us. Because as you can see, I'm not very well. How do I put this? Not very good at it.
We just love cricket, man. Come on. We just love watching cricket.
Why do South Sri Lanka seem to think that the body line will work at Temba Bavuma but not at Faf? Is it because Bavuma's shorter?
I don't know, but he's driving this one sweetly through the covers for a 4. It was, again, a bit too full and wide for Fernando, coming over the wicket to Bavuma, trying to get that ball to go across him. But as I've said before, if he's going to try that line over the wicket, the ball has to pitch on middle and off stump to get that uncertainty going. And that length was way too full for anything to give the ball a chance to do anything. So it was an easy put away for Bavuma.
He showed the maker's name.
Over the wicket again, Bavuma cuts this backward of point, and that is another 4. Well done. That's a beautiful cut shot there by Bavuma. Played it nice and late on his back foot. Looking really good is Bavuma. And that's it for us for today. I'll be back after lunch. It's going to come in and kick us off, and it looks like the players are also taking drinks. How's it?
Right. Mpo, you good? We can leave?
Sorry, Mpo, you're on mute, mate.
Sorry, forgot that I was on mute. How's everyone doing today?
Good, thank you. Good. I'm very enthusiastic about the way things are going out at the moment. How are you guys doing?
Doing quite well. Just happy for Temba. I think it's a great opportunity for him to get a massive score today and put all his demons behind him and all his critics. But this knock should be enough to put all his critics behind. Is there somebody with a lot of? Let me just check here just to make sure. Oh, that's AB. AB with
AB's got another breakfast special at the moment. Breakfast buffet. Where are you watching the game? Are you watching the game at a 7-star hotel or something?
Tammy was just boiling some stuff. So I'm very happy here with Temba. Just out of interest, I really hope he gets 100 today. He could really add to his total. But also, I have a joke that I tell my friends that I could be a pro cricketer because Temba Bavuma has only scored 1 more Test 100 than me, and if he scores this 100, then I can't say that joke anymore. So it'll be bittersweet. But I do want to.
You're the reason why Temba has so many critics. But the lay of the land right now, South Africa 364 for 4, with trailing by 32. This partnership is now worth, let me just get it for you, 144. So it's the highest partnership in the match. Great settling and great calming influence these two have been.
No, absolutely. I think they're certainly more than settled with 140-odd partnership. But I'm anticipating some great things, as I'm sure a number of fans are. What I've told the gentleman from the previous panel is that whenever somebody nears a milestone, I generally don't say much about it. That's an old club cricketer inside of me.
Okay.
You don't want to choose any potential big milestones. So if they get any closer, you might sense that I'm a bit quiet. That's for that very reason. I don't want to.
That's okay. Anything. You'll just have to then cover the tweets. And yeah, so I think it's a good position that South Africa find themselves in. You expected that this first hour would have been key both sides. And South Africa have come out the better here with Timber's 50 and them pushing this partnership from 97 to 144 runs. And Sri Lanka now are in damage control mode right now because obviously the lead is quite small and there's a possibility that these two could take it on a little bit further. And also with Vian Mulder coming in and Keshav Maharaj, who are no mugs with the bat, and AB's favorite, Anuf Nokia, you know, this lead could move up to about 100. I don't know where you guys think you'd be happy with where the lead would be.
I think anything around 100 to 150 lead would be very, very good for the Proteas here. That would allow you to get 3 or 4 scalps from, I think this is a 9-man Sri Lankan team now. So yeah, that's where I would be as Faf du Plessis and Temba Bavuma trying to steady the ship too. So I think if they can get another 100 runs together, that would be job done for them. I think it's safe to say job's already done for them, but they'd want to push on, both capitalize.
Yes, so there's a beautiful tweet from Leah there. I think if you can see it, Ravi.
I can see Josie Oak. Oh, there we go. Leah, and that's not pronounced. Okay, never mind. So what are you trying to say here is that you scored exactly as many Test hundreds as the current Australia Test captain and me.
and we start again from the end of that drinks break with a short ball from Lahiru Kumara around the wicket to the right-handed Faf du Plessis, who pulls this one behind. He gets a bit of a top edge and a glove onto it, and it goes in between leg slip and the keeper to the boundary for 4.
Got to make your own luck sometimes.
No, well, Sri Lanka's had they've had a very fortuitous run as well in the first innings. You recall, so I think it's about time that we get some luck our way as well.
But here's my problem. It's like South Africa yesterday with Anuf Nokia. Why are we bowling body line when the ball's 5 overs old?
Exactly.
Surely you should be trying to push it forward, get it into the right areas. It feels like it's a cop-out. But Lahiru coming in again, another short ball, top edge. There's a long stop there, but it goes over the long stop's head and bounces just in the boundary line for 4. The trap worked, but it didn't work well enough.
That's 150 partnership for these guys as well. So well done to them.
Congratulations. Yeah. Do we have a jingle? You want to sing it, Simpo?
No. I tweeted to you the Temba Bavuma jingle so you could sing it, but I can see that you didn't want to.
No.
So
definitely not. We want to keep our followers. We don't want to lose any in the process. Now, come now.
Yeah, so
but guys, a long stop in Test cricket. I mean, we've seen a lot more of this in the last 2 years, but are we really there again? We saw it on the 14D.
I don't
we saw it on day 1 and day 2, and it's a South Africa ploy, especially with that short ball. I think we're looking for the cricket ball now. I think it's underneath the side screen.
So this takes me back to a couple of days playing golf. And guys, golf is a very fun game.
No, guys, no. Find the cricket ball. Find that cricket ball that's been. You can't give him a new cricket ball.
No,
can you do it? Can you do a drop? And
no. Can we scuff it up a little bit?
No, what happened? Is it like in the bundus? It's like underneath the
Kusal Mendes needs to leopard crawl underneath the side screen to get the ball. He just doesn't want to get his white stick.
No. Where's the groundsman now? Come now. They must come right here.
Surely you can rake it with an actual rake.
Look, the way I see it, this sounds very classist from my side, but you don't work your way up to international cricket to only do this.
To be leopard crawling underneath the side screen.
Guys, you guys laugh, eh? When I was playing club cricket, we used to have to cross the M5 to get the ball a couple of times in Cape Town. So
So the next ball is played out to the leg side by Faf, and the South Africans ran for 2. The score now goes up to 374 for 4.
But that's an interesting point about the long stop. I've never seen that before in Test cricket. In fact, even in one-day cricket, I've never seen that before.
I've seen it. South Africa Faf has used that fielding position quite a lot over the summer last year. I think it was the first time we all got to see Zubair Hamza before he made his debut. He was fielding there at long stop. I think it was against Pakistan in that early 2019 series. And they've used it in this series as well. To yesterday, which I was not happy about. Another short ball to Faf du Plessis around the wicket. It's a snorter, this one, and he just has to move away. He thought he could take it on, but he moved. He decided to sway away.
So, what would you be thinking if you were Mickey Arthur right now? You're looking at the score. You're looking at these guys bowling short deliveries the whole time. What would you be thinking?
I'd be thinking which other test playing nation would have me as their coach, because I think this is at this stage of his career where
the West Indies, the West Indies. That's the answer right there.
Another short ball going across Faf's right shoulder there. He shapes to play that pull, but he decides to just keep his form and allow the ball to go away from him. I'm really disappointed in Sri Lanka right now. I feel that they should actually be pushing the ball around over the wicket to Faf and letting him come forward and play it. There's still a lot in this wicket, and that's what Dean Alga said yesterday in the press conference. He said that it looks like it's flat, but it actually doesn't play against it. It's just that the bowlers haven't been putting the balls in the right areas consistently enough to trouble the batsmen.
So there's still something on offer for the seamers from the side.
There is. You can see that there's bounce the ball. If you land the ball on the seam, which is what Dasun Shanaka does really well, you can get movement off this pitch. So I just don't know why. Well, he's come over the wicket this time, and he bowled one straight onto off stump, trying to trap Faf in, and Faf manages to get his bat in the way there. End of that over. That is a 374 for 4.
Absolutely. So there's no tweets at Guerilla SA line at the moment.
So Ravi, there was one other thing I wanted to chat about. You spoke about the last time South Africa scored close to 400 in a test match innings. It was in October 2014 against India, 431 in that first innings in Vizag. India scored 502, remember, and then South Africa. And then South Africa scored 431.
Quinny and Elgar batted very well.
And then India scored 323, and then South Africa bowled out for 191 to lose that match. So that was the last time. And I'm just going to try to get you, how many matches was that?
There's quite a few. You would have played England directly afterwards, and I don't think we played a test series after England until now, right?
It's 6 matches after that.
Yeah.
6 test matches since October 2019. Says a lot about our cricket. Short ball from Dasun Shanaka, who starts the next over, and Temba just plays that out to mid-wicket for a single, 375 for 4.
Bavuma is a trending item on Twitter at the moment. He's just below Donald Trump.
We're dealing with all the racists. So just allow us. Just allow the people to.
Did you see Dan Crickett's tweet yesterday about Temba Bavuma?
Oh, the sarcastic one. This ball landing on the seam and the crack and just dying as it went away from the right-handed Faf, who just let that go through. It wasn't going to bother him. It was 6-stump line anyway. It was a poor ball in the end. Just the movement was exciting. Yeah, that tweet from Dan Cricket was a little bit spicy, sarcastic.
It was deserved. Very deserved. Dan said if Temba Bavuma was on 121 of 69 balls.
There's an edge here that Dasun Shanaka induces off of Faf's bat, but it's so low that it rolls all the way in between the gap between slip and gully to the boundary. And as Ravi said, why isn't there a third man? Because that ball's gone for 4.
Yep, that is fortuitous. but we have to ride on Lady Luck once in a while. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'll take that. Runs.
Yes, that tweet from Dan.
Oh, yes. So he said if Temba was on 121 off 89 deliveries, then we would be in the lead already. And damn these quota players.
This ball outside the off stump played out to the leg side. There's a fielder at silly mid off for no run.
But that coming back to the lines that our Sri Lankan bowlers are bowling, that is the appropriate line right there. Even though the ball dipped after on the edge, that's exactly the line they should be bowling, and it just baffles me why they haven't been bowling that precise line during the entire session so far.
Yeah, and that's what I think South Africa's bowlers need to try and get to. Shanaka in again, this ball tailing in off the seam to Faf du Plessis. It hits him on the back thigh pad. No LBW shot. The Sri Lankans don't have I nearly called it VAR. It's a DRS review, and that's a no run there.
Don't get AB started now. Come now, Paul.
I don't want to talk about VAR. So, yeah, I mean, Faf is 10 runs away from one milestone and another 9 runs away from another milestone. So, I'm not going to mention these milestones because...
Okay, you can mention the latter. Is it 4,000 test runs?
Yes, yes. He's 9 runs away from 4,000 test runs.
Okay.
Shanaka into Faf, who plays it off the back foot out to the offside, no run. End of Shanaka's over, 379 for 4.
Can you perhaps confirm where Temba is in the grand scheme of things as well? I read out a stat.
So Temba is 90 runs away from 2,000 test runs.
Okay,
yeah.
So he's 1,910 at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. All right, so we got another tweet here. Just tell me when you're ready. Then.
Sure, you can read out the tweets.
The problem, this is from Josie Oak, by the way. The problem with this series, the Sri Lankan bowling side is simply not an international standard bowling attack. Lancashire seconds could get a bucket full against these bowlers. Ooh. Okay, wow. Josie Oak is throwing some fire out there.
And on YouTube, you've got MD Fayers saying hi and asking how we are. Next ball, short ball played off his toes there by Temba, rode it very nicely. It's a lovely punch showing great timing. It rolled all the way to the boundary and it was picked up by Chandamal just as it got to the boundary for 3 runs. Temba practicing that shot again on his toes, just playing it. I think it's playing into Temba's hands that the Sri Lankans think because he's so short, he can't play the short ball. And this brings in the record partnership for the 5th wicket for South Africa versus Sri Lanka. The previous best was 161 by Ashwell Prince and AB de Villiers in Colombo in 2006. So this partnership of 162. Yeah, so that's awesome. And
so this 5th wicket partnership likes playing against Sri Lanka, clearly.
Yes, you could say so. Next ball's a short ball. It's called a wide, and the South Africans will have taken they didn't take a single there, but it landed at the long stop's feet. So that's a good fielding position for those short ball wides.
Mind you, that 161, the previous partnership, took place in Colombo, and that wicket, to say the very least, is a turning wicket. I mean, we're talking a turn which is almost exaggerated in many senses of the word. To get 161 on that particular pitch takes some doing.
Mm-hmm. And the extras column now goes up to 38 buys, 9 leg buys, 5 no balls, and 8 wides. Kumara bowling over the wicket to Temba. He's got a leg slip, 1 conventional slipper, a 4th/gully, a fielder at backward point on the boundary, and a short leg. And Temba just guides this one out to the vacant point region for a lovely single, just a nice little walk there. 385 for 4.
At least the long stop actually proved useful in the couple balls ago. Saving 3 runs. Jeez. Well, it's an absolute shambles.
Yes, I don't get it, but you're going to see it again now. That long stop is probably going to come back in with Kumara, short ball barrage down the leg side. It popped up from Faf's bat, and that short leg was a little bit too far back to get that little pop-up of a ball there. And it's seemingly starting to work, causing Afaf a little bit more problems there. Faf playing that with some softish hands. And yeah, Sri Lankans nearly got in with a little bit of a wicket that could have burgled there.
What's interesting is that Crick Info reported that the highest 5th wicket partnership for the South African cricket team happens to be 338 by Graham Smith and AB de Villiers against Pakistan.
Full shot there. That should have gone for 4, but there's a sweeper on the boundary on the leg side and South Africans only take a single. Yes, Ravi?
Yeah, Ravi. So that was actually, I misread. This is the highest South African partnership against Sri Lanka for the 5th.
In Sri Lanka, right,
Yes,
right.
against Sri Lanka, yeah. Okay. Was that 334 against Pakistan?
That's correct, in Dubai, back in 2013.
I remember that one when AB nearly got to the record score, or South Africa's record score, and I think Graham declared just after he got to 285. Full straight ball from Kumara to Temba, who plays that with a straight bat out to the fielder at mid-on, no run. And Nushkan Mohammed saying amazing commentary on YouTube. So thank you very much, Nushkan. Please just hit that subscribe button to get a little bit more, as well as share it with everybody you know if you're looking for some commentary.
Follow us, subscribe, follow us, please, for free.
Yes, and you can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook if you'd like as well. Lahiru, short ball, and Temba ducks underneath that one. He was going to take that on, and he just pulled out at the last minute, and that ends that over. 386 for 4.
I feel for Kumara here. I think he's got the biggest chance of breaking this partnership, but he needs a partner on the other end to help with the workload. And yeah,
and this is what my problem I think with Sri Lanka in the first hour was they had 10 overs and 9 overs until the new ball. So they should have bowled Dasun Shanaka there and then keep Kumara and Vishwa Fernando for this period once you do get the new ball. Bowling Vishwa Fernando to start the day off it felt like yes, we're all looking for wickets and it's a little bit desperate. But Shanaka was getting some movement yesterday with that old ball. And so I thought maybe that they missed the trick there. Because now you're bowling your new ball overs with Shanaka. This one's straight outside the off stump, no run there. And he's not generating enough pace to worry the batsman outside of the seam movement that he's getting.
Now we've got another tweet from Josie Oak here saying that they are wasting this new ball. Terrible lines are being bowled, just hurling it around anywhere. Bowling around the wicket at the leg stump to a right-hander with the new ball, Fred Truman mode on. Just don't know what's going off out there, mode off.
Next ball is a shorter length ball that Faf climbs into, and he pulls that one to the leg side. It goes like a rocket, and his score goes up to 95 with that 4.
There's another tweet from Nerdy Boy who says, #Faf needs to bat shirtless. That's a thing.
I think we'd get a lot more viewers rather than listeners to the commentary. So, Faf, keep your shirt on. Dasun Shanaka, this one was tighter on the off stump. Faf turning the bat out to the leg side. There's the fielders on. There's 2 fielders on the legs, or 3 of them. Both 2 of them are on the boundary. That's fine leg and deep square leg, and the fielder at mid wicket. is that one. And so it was easy for the South Africans to take the single. The score goes up to 391. And it's Faf du Plessis moves up to 96.
So Faf du Plessis, he likes to run without a shirt on. And when asked about it yesterday or the day before, he said he had to lose some lockdown weight. And in my mind, I was thinking,
Wait.
Lockdown weight. Underneath your head, or,
Next ball was outside the off stump from Shanaka, still 120 Ks, and goes out, and Timber just lets it go through shouldering arms. 391 for 4, South Africa trail by 5. Very good effort from the South Africans so far this morning. They have managed to kill this deficit. This one, next ball, played, it was a fuller length ball, and Timber getting underneath that and playing that out to the fielder at mid-on. No run there. 391 for 4 still. Timber on 69, Faf on 96. So the scores are mirroring each other there, if you are into that sort of thing.
So speaking of milestones, AV, Dean Elgar is also encroaching on 4,000 runs. How did he fare out yesterday?
I think he missed it by 20. This ball down the leg side, and Timber clipping it off. Could possibly be leg buys. It is leg buys. Umpire Maria Rasmus stating that for all of us. And so South Africa's total goes to 395. They trailed by 1 at the end of that over.
They should declare now.
Dean missed it by 17 runs, unfortunately.
Oh,
do you guys remember that test, the first day-night test South Africa played in Australia? And we were 290 for 9 in the first innings, and we just started batting under lights, and Faf declared.
Yeah. I thought that was fantastic because you don't want to bat under lights. Screw that. Let them bat.
And I think we picked up a stick or two, didn't we?
Yes, we did. It was just one of those moments where you kind of realized how much of a forward thinker Faf was as captain. And I've always liked his captaincy. I think we've been blessed with quite a good crop of guys who could actually captain the team.
Problem is, Paul, we are very demanding fans. And we want them to prosper all the time.
Guys, all we need is to win one World Cup, and then all our fans will stop being demanding. Even that Test Championship, if you can win a Test Championship now, because it's still some sort of a World Cup league type of thing, I think our fans will calm down. Hasaranga resuming his second spell today. This ball legs a natural variation outside the off stump, and Faf just playing it out to the fielder at short extra cover. He's got a slip, a short extra cover around the bat. There is no bat pad there. A shorter ball dragged down, and Faf looking to play that through the offside. Great fielding at extra cover, and it's still a no run.
Unfortunately, we can't win a Test Championship because we don't play Test cricket, or we don't play enough Test cricket.
The frequency is, I agree.
No, but the Test Championship was supposed to nullify that and make that work. But obviously now it's points per game, so you can find yourself, if you win a few series here, you win the Pakistan series and this one, you could be back in with a shout. A fuller length ball played back to the bowler, no run. And that's the thing.
Problem, though. That's a big problem with this. Yes, the points allocation would obviously be in favor of everybody, but the challenge is that it's a strength versus strength thing at the end of the day. You've got Australia and India that are playing against each other all the time.
So a cover drive or drives on a straight drive to the fielder at long off for 2 for a single. So Faf moves to 97. So essentially, we're supposed to play 4 series away, 4 series at home. No matter the length of the series, each series is worth 120, and the number of matches, you divide the 120 points by those matches. And so that's how they were going to make it a fairness. So, for instance, this series right now for South Africa and Sri Lanka is worth 120 points, and this match is worth 60 points. But the series down under is a 4-match series, so that's 120 divided by 4, so that's 30 points per match. As Temba plays this one out to the offside, South Africa now move 1 in the lead. with the score on 397 for 4. Temba on 70, Du Plessis on 97. So that's where the match is. So each team was supposed to play 8 series, 4 home, 4 away, in the 2-year period. And then the top 2 teams, regardless of number. So you could, so South Africa play like 6 test matches a year. But I think it's in the favor of the teams playing less test matches, because you can come out, you can burgle it. Like Sri Lanka in 2019 burgled a 2-0 series whitewash in South Africa. They would have gotten 120 points, and that sets them up. So those are the.
Did they burgle it, or did we gift wrap it to them? I'm thinking the latter, to be honest with you.
Well, they burgled that first test. It was great batting. That last wicket century partnership is a there's a protest team update coming at 12 p.m. So after lunch, we will be letting you know what's going on. I think there might be some players being added into the bubble as we go, or maybe some players are being told to possibly go and play the next round of franchise games in the first week of the year. Shanaka resuming to Temba. Temba playing it out lovely onto the offside for a single, 398 for 4. But remember that test in Durban. I think that test in Durban set up the test for Sri Lanka. And like I've always said with the South African Football Association, sometimes when you get teams who are used to certain types of conditions, don't make them play in places in your country where those conditions become play into their advantage. So you can't be sending subcontinental teams to Durban. Shanaka outside the off-stump, inside edge onto the back pad of Faf du Plessis. That's how dangerous Shanaka can be here. But luckily for Faf, it just went out onto the offside, no run. And so sending subcontinental teams to PE, where it takes a lot of spin, and also Durban, because it's no longer the Green Mamba, it didn't work out in that 2019 series. But here, I think they've now thought it through and thought it out well, bringing them up to the high felt. It's just that this pitch will take some spin from tomorrow onwards, or even late today. Inside edge again from Faf off Shanaka. Faf was looking for 2 there to take him on to 99, but Temba sending him back, and he'll stay on 198.
That's the ball is deviating quite a bit there. Yeah, you'd think that we'll be going into bat next to how nervous we are at the moment.
No, but here's the thing about South Africa. I think there's not a lot of. I think Mulder and Sipamla, they need, and possibly Ngidi are the 3 bowlers who can like land the ball on the seam, and that's what I think you need to do on this pitch to get that extra assistance. Right. Oh, this ball gets the edge of Temba Bavuma, a little bit of extra bounce. It was short and it was wide. He threw his hands at it, and it's caught behind, and Temba Bavuma is out on a 71. As you were saying, Ravi, this pitch has a little bit of demons in it, and Shanaka has found that breakthrough for Sri Lanka.
Well played, Temba Bavuma. Unfortunately, we have to see the back of him right now. Very unfortunate if you're a South African fan. Great if you're a Sri Lankan fan at the moment.
Yes, it was a thin top edge that went straight to the Niroshan Dekwela. Temba Bavuma's innings, 71 of 126 balls. He was in a 179-run partnership with Faf du Plessis, and he scored 7 fours in that innings with a strike rate of 57. And sadly, Tizozo has to go back to the hut, but he came in at a time where South Africa needed him. He steadied the ship, and he's moved on from there to help South Africa get through into a commanding an advantageous position in this match.
I think you can sense, if you're in the audience, you can sense the dismay and sadness we have. Of course, we all wanted to see Temba Bavuma go all the way to the 3-figure mark, but we'd have to wait patiently. It's still a long series in the grand scheme of things.
Many other chances, but this is the type of knock that Temba will produces normally. He had gone 14 innings without scoring a 50 and managed to score a 50 in this match.
All right.
Are we seeing
So,
replays here of one camera angle just. Temba didn't nick that, guys.
no, he didn't.
But he walked straight, so he felt that there was something.
There's daylight between.
Why did he walk?
Yeah, he didn't hit that.
Why did he walk?
I didn't give him out.
Why on earth did he walk?
There's clear daylight. I mean, you could have a bribe between that gap. That is.
Unless he heard something, he thought he might have heard something, maybe.
But I mean,
Yeah.
credit for Temba to walking, but I mean, you didn't hit the ball. What did you hit?
Yeah, he didn't hit anything. He'll be very disappointed as he goes back. But that's a breakthrough for Sri Lanka. South Africa lead by 399 for 5. A couple more wickets here in this session, and the game can move into their favor. They will be wanting to keep this lead to anything below 100 would be something that they'd be very that they'd take very well. Next batter in is Vian Mulder. He's only batted once for 7. Averages 39 in domestic cricket, and first ball he gets is a shorter length ball. Jagged back into him, and he played out to leg for a run.
So I have to ask, if you're the umpires or the match referee, and you could clearly see this daylight between bat and the
You
ball,
should send him back out.
you should
No, but
intervene.
but that's why we have reviews. Temba should review.
But he was never given out, though. The umpire didn't signal out.
This ball jagging back into the right-handed Vian Mulder, and Shanaka seemingly finding a little bit more movement there, and Faf's trying to bat it dead at the end of that over. South Africa are 399 for 5.
All right, some tweets from Josie Oak, starting off with Josie Oak. Dear me, never hit it, walked rather than reviewed. What is he like? Chris TV, the F word. I think that's what we're all thinking right now, to be fair, Chris. And Leah, so just game the WTC point system, playing 4-2 test series away against Zimbabwe, 3-2 test series against them at home, and then give Bangladesh a 2-test figure leaf series to guard against allegations of cheating. Easy peasy. Well, the only disagreement I have on that is Bangladesh isn't a walkover side anymore. And then Ravi Nair coming in saying, could you lend Sri Lanka Shabdam Ismail perhaps? She'd be quicker than Shanaka. Well, that matured very well. Because Shanaka had aged like a Spurs steak right there. Yeah, so unfortunately, Shanaka is the one that dismissed, inverted commas, Temba Bavuma. Of course, we know right now he wasn't out. My question is to the audience out there. I mean, if you're a batsman or batswoman, I should say, have you ever walked when you actually weren't out? I'd love to know the process around that. Because
I know Kane Williamson doesn't walk when he edges it, so
Yeah.
But I mean, what I'm asking is if you walked, if you thought to yourself, I definitely nicked it, but post review, you're like, but hang on.
Yes, next ball in from Hasaranga. This one's outside the leg stump, and Faf just lets it go through no run.
So I have a huge problem with what just happened in the sense that Maria Rasmus didn't signal that Temba was out. Temba just left.
This ball Fuller outside the off stump gets a thickish edge on its way to the boundary. That will take Faf to his 100 and also 4,000 test runs in international cricket.
Yeah.
And it's his first test century against Sri Lanka and his 10th test century, and that also takes South Africa to 400 runs. So a lot of milestones to celebrate, guys. Have at it.
Oh, well done, Faf.
Well done, Faf.
This is what we needed. Maybe Temba just wanted his fellow Lions teammates to bat a bit in Vian Mulder.
No, I honestly think he heard a noise. Because obviously when you're on that end and you're hitting something, there's a noise that you sometimes you go with the noise because something's a feint. And he walked off of it. And that's why Murray didn't need to put up his finger because Temba didn't stay. He just was trying to be an honest man. Faf plays this one off the back foot to the fielder who's a sweeper. at the cover boundary for a single there.
Now,
And
people are asking, why did Temba walk, even though Faf just scored a century? His 10th test century at that. And he also surpassed 4,000 runs, as rightfully indicated by AB as well.
yeah, look, I think the only man who can answer that is Temba. He needs to let us know what he heard and what he felt. And yeah, but it's
we need to ask our resident umpires in the Guerilla SA cricket camp, and what should have been done in that instance? Because I would agree as well. I think Marais Erasmus should have stepped up and said, "Let's wait for a soft signal first. Let's check for the no ball. Let's check for all of the interventions."
Short ball to Ian Mulder, and get that one out to the leg side. So that's the from the ball from Hasaranga. And end of that over, Vian's going to get a little bit of a tension there. After that, I don't know why. I think, they're changing gloves. Faf's changing his pink gloves, and he's getting a new set of pink gloves. Reynard Fantondo making a bit of an appearance there for all the Fantondo fans.
So, Rafi, I assume the no ball was fine because the third umpire has been really good with that. But yeah, this is just I mean, what do you do as an umpire when your batsman who's not out just decides to go?
No, but obviously the appeal is there and they're celebrating for a catch behind. The only thing that Temba needed to do was stay, but he pulled up his bat and he walked. Yeah. Because, I don't know, maybe the Sri Lankans were convincing. On Facebook, Chanaka Luxman just says Sri Lanka. So I think he is very much a Sri Lankan fan. Oarabile Teteme says, I don't see anything what's happening, only national flags. Oarabile, we're a radio station, and so we decided to have a watch-along on YouTube and Facebook and also on Periscope. We don't have the rights to show the commentary, but you can listen to us on 1WSR. But we thought let's have a lovely watch along to include the Facebook and YouTube family with the scorecard that's updating after a couple of so balls. First ball of Shanaka's over, plays out to the offside for a single, 4-5 for 5. Yeah, he's stepped up, Shanaka, after that injury from Majita.
So I can say now, sorry, I think yesterday we uncovered that Markram has surpassed the 40 average of 40 now. And as of a few balls ago, so did Faf du Plessis. He's currently sitting on 40.86. So that's two batsmen that are averaging about 40 in the current South African lineup at the moment.
Yes. Dean Alga is actually averaging 39.05. He is 17 runs away from that 4,000 run mark. It was a race between him and Faf won it in today's test. Now the next batsman they're trying to chase is Daryl Cullinan on 4,554. As Vian Mulder plays this lovely ball out to the offside, he still can't get off the mark after 5 balls because the fielder at extra cover is it went straight to that fielder. So you've got Callis on 13,000 runs, Amla on 9,282, Smith on 9,253 third, AB de Villiers 8,765, Gary Kirsten 7,289, Gibbs 6,167, Boucher 5,498, and Cullinan 4,555.
What a power list, right? What a power list, eh?
No,
so I'm very excited to see Vian Mulder here. I think if he can get at least 30, then that would really be excellent from his role in the team. He spoke a lot about
if he can get a half century, he'll be in the side forever.
Yeah, then he's in the next test. But I'd like to see him just get at least 30, and that's what you want from an all-rounder.
Shanaka not giving Vian Mulder anything outside that off stump, bowling that fourth first time channel. He's been the most accurate of the Sri Lankan bowlers. The only issue I think everyone's having is the pace that he's generating, and it's an opportunity for him now to bowl with the new ball in the session. He worked well with the old ball yesterday.
Okay, so right, we've got quite a few tweets coming in. Leah, that proves it. Bavuma is definitely not related to Brody and has no Australian ancestry.
Wait, hold up. Vian Mulder with a shot of note there. 4 runs played through the covers. It was a full length half volley, and he latched onto that very nicely. The total goes up to a 408.
And
You can
Josie
continue.
and Josie Oak with another fireball there. Stuart Broad doesn't walk. Ask any Australian. Chris EB, I think in the bargaining stage of grief, asking about calling Temba back. Definitely out if the batsman walks. Doesn't matter if the umpire doesn't give it or not. Josie Oak again. Sorry, you wanted to take the ball?
No, you can carry on. That was just a dot ball then.
Josie Oak again. The only reason that the umpire can stop a batter who has walked is for a no ball check. It's not up to the umpire to persuade him to stay to check things. And Chris TB with the statistic, Markram fell back below 40 after he went out. Now on 39.26.
Yes, we're just having issues with our virtual camera. I think one of you guys might have to go to ball by ball while I sort it out.
No problem. Otter Seyman just tweeted now, must have thought he hit it. That is the only explanation for him walking. Correct batters can only walk off at any stage of time. And SA Cricket Blog in direct tweet to me, what do you mean bollocks with walking over the rope? The rules are the rules. The rules make the game. That's a fair point. You can't fault the umpires, I suppose, in that instance if the batsman's taken initiative and walked off the field.
Yeah, fair enough. Although this begs the question, should we now just review, or is that where the
No, it's not. It's fine. You only review if it's a catch if you're an umpire, and he could have stayed and asked the umpire and let the umpire make the decision. 410 for 5. Last ball of Hasaranga's over is played out to the bowler by Vian Mulder for no run. So after 410 for 5, just getting the scoreboard sorted out on my end. We've got 15 minutes until lunch. Inside half of the bat, this time found by Hasaranga, played out to the fielder at mid-on. No run.
I'd have to say, as a batsman, I've also heard of things like, for example, if the ball brushes off like a piece of clothing or your obviously your sleeve, sometimes that can be deceptive. But in that instance, there's clear daylight between bat and ball. Again, I wasn't sure what was going through Temba's head. I'm not sure if he heard something else in the periphery.
Yeah.
It could have been anything that could have drove him to walk.
I mean, at least Temba had the honesty to, in his mind, he obviously heard something, or he felt something, and he immediately walked, no doubt about it. So I kind of like the fact that he's got that honesty about it, rather than the Stuart Broads of this world.
So another tweet, and again, this is a direct one to myself and SA Cricket Blog. I know it was an honest mistake. Sorry, this was Yellow Cap Sports that we know very well. Let's wait for this ball.
Yes, that ball played out to the leg side, no run.
Yellow Cap Sports, I know that was an honest mistake, and the third umpire had enough time to call it and stop him, and I will stick to bollocks. Okay. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion about this, but I think the umpire's accountability sort of drops when the batsman takes the initiative and walks off the field. That's just my take on it. As infuriating as it is for me to admit that, I would have loved for any intervention to come through at that point in time just to keep Temba on. But anyways, it is what it is. Oh, and sorry, a tweet just came in from Tulu. He should have consulted with Faf. Now, that's a good point. That's a great question. That's a great point right there. That's what we've seen in international cricket lately. If the ball is crashing down middle or leg or off stump, you speak to the batsman. Why can't you do the same with an edge? Sorry, mate, you're on mute, Mpo.
First ball of Vishwa Fernando's second spell. This one is tearing into the pads of Faf du Plessis, but he manages to get that out to the offside for a single. A little bit of an LBW shot, but nothing to write home about.
And this 15 seconds does give you a lot of time to consult with your partner. It's just a pity that it happened. Well, we move on. Jan Mulder now
to Mulder. This one, another LBW shout. It pitched outside leg stump, but the Sri Lankans are still trying to generate some noise and energy for this South African youngster who's batting right now.
So another tweet from Leah. The hypocritical thing about the Australian obsession with Stuart Broad is that they keep complaining about him not walking in the test match. In the very same test match in which Brad Haddon himself didn't walk. Interesting.
Fuller length ball by Fernando across the right-handed Mulder, who just plays a straight shot down to the offside, straight one. The fielder at mid-off had to come around to get it. There was a single to Jan Mulder. It's 412 for 5. Mulder 5, du Plessis 106. So our stream is a little bit down, and so the laptop I'm using for the screen for the stream wasn't charging. So you know how feisty Apples are. So we just have to wait a bit for it to get back on. Vishwa Fernando short ball to Faf du Plessis, left arm over, and Faf rides that ball down to the mid-wicket region for another single. 413 for 5. South Africa in a lead now is 17. They would have wanted to erase the deficit of 87. Now they lead by 17 by the time they get into lunch. And then so this post-lunch period is going to be very important in the phase of in this game to pretty much let people to kind of give us an indication of where it's going to end up.
So what is the game plan right now with the batting lineup? We've got Jan Mulder.
Beautiful shot from Jan Mulder out to the backward point region. It was short, it was wide, easily to be cut, and the total goes to 417.
So that answers the question.
So, well, Ravi, I'd have two sort of game plans. One, let's say for the next hour. So just see off these two guys to lunch. You need to make sure you're still there after lunch. Mulder needs to just realign his focus. So does Faf. He's been batting for, well, not the longest of times, but these guys want to be making sure South Africa go into that session after tea and still be batting on that final session, because then you'd have that lead of 100 plus, hopefully, and that's the game in your hands now as South Africa.
So I have an interesting story about Jan Mulder. Cricket Fanatics magazine engaged with him when he first started playing under Otis Gibson's Proteas team. Go ahead, Mbo.
Quick single played out to the leg side by Faf du Plessis, who takes it was Jan Mulder there, and takes the single out, and the score now goes up to 418, and the lead is 22.
Jan Mulder arrived at his very first training session with the Proteas team in his school uniform because he was a matric that year that he was selected.
Wow.
Can you imagine you sitting next to Faf du Plessis in your school blazer? How awesome is that?
Yeah.
Where did you go to Saints?
Centurions.
Yeah.
Yet another product of St. Statians. Impressive, eh? They must have something magical in the water streams there.
I mean, Chris TV could have gone pro, but Chris decided to be a commentator instead.
He needs to work on his on drive. He needs to work on his on drive.
Hasaranga inducing a false shot from Jan Mulder. He came down the wicket, and Jan just swung at that one. The fielder, that's the Chandimal at mid-off, was in with a little bit of a shot, but the ball went over his head and bounced safely for the South African, and they take 2, 420 for 5.
So here's the thing, you've got 8 minutes until lunch. If you're in the South African camp right now, you'd obviously want du Plessis and Mulder to stick around. until they reach lunch. Because let's face it, if Keshav comes in, he's just going to have a slog, right? He's not going to play anything.
Sorry, Rafi, you were saying?
No, I was just saying that effectively, this is your last line of defense until you're going to get Keshav, who's going to come in and start playing a sort of a Captain Courageous innings of his own. And he's just basically going to have a slog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Anurag here, we all know that he's done the job before and he can carry on.
Next ball played out to the boundary by that is Vian Mulder, and it will be I don't think that's a 4. Yeah. So guys, sorry, I'm gonna take myself off the stream for now. I just need to sort this.
No worries.
Ravi, will you do ball by ball? I'll just manage the tweets because you're a bit ahead of me.
I can do ball by ball. So score is 420 for 5. Mulder on 12. And a full toss to Mulder. He dispatches that on the ground and it hits the Betway sign. We are not sponsored by Betway, but it is what it is. He's hit the Betway sign. Mulder takes full advantage of that fortuitous delivery from Hasaranga. The score is 400. It should be 426 for 5.
A funny tweet here from Terry and Tembu. Mulder, we love the shots, bro, but let's bat until tea, and then we bring them in. But when you get a low full toss there from a leg spinner, you're going to punish that, rightfully so.
You're going to have to. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you'll get a fine in the dressing room if you don't.
Oh, yeah. They're going to make him drink if he doesn't take advantage of this. Yeah.
So was that a 6? Because it did hit the
I think it just got over.
The boundary.
Yeah. I think it just went over. Let's have a look. Oh, no. You might be right. I think it might have just landed beforehand. It's a 4. Signal by Adrian Wolfstock. Now he's definitely getting a fine for that. And Mulder again gets on the back foot, punches it, no run from the looks of it.
So Morne Morkel tweets in, I'm penciling Faf du Plessis in for a double, perfect day for it, and I agree. And then Otto Simon retweeted that and said that would be great. We'll set up the game and series beautifully. So Faf du Plessis is 30 runs short of his highest test score. So he'd definitely be wanting to break that and get his first 150.
Could you perhaps remind the fans who the highest score was against?
Jeez, Ravi, you're asking a lot from me, but his highest score was against, I don't know. No, I don't know. I have no idea. Was it not Australia?
Possibly India.
Possibly India.
Might have, actually, that 137 was Australia. Was his debut test by chance?
Yeah, possibly. It doesn't say here. The Guerilla Cricket.
And I see ESPN Cricket Info has updated his profile, indicating that his brother-in-law, as of the end of last year, is, of course, GC Viljoen, also known as...
How does Viljoen? Yeah. It was actually against New Zealand, Faf's 137. He got it off 252 balls back when Elvira Pearson was playing. And this was in the 2012-2013 season. Listen to this batting lineup in that test match. So we had Elvira Peterson, Graham Smith, Hashim Amla, Jacques Hallis, A.B. de Villiers, Faf du Plessis at 6, and then Dean Elgar at 7, who got 103 in that match.
Correct. And we spoke about his debut test. Obviously, there was a hell of an intervention from Faf du Plessis. 110, 376 balls against Australia in the match which they saved the test series and the match, of course, scoring a heroic 110 of 376. What more can you ask for from a debutant?
Exactly.
We're back now, and we're back up on 1WSR on Tune and the website.
Now, is there a concern with Faf's finger there? Because I see that the ball just hit him just above the splice.
Look, I'm
Seems to be
always
okay.
concerned about Faf's finger.
Why are you
Like,
concerned about South finger?
every single innings he bats,
And-
he's always got a finger
And
problem.
off the back foot, Faf punches it away for 4. Off the back foot, making even the great Viv Richards proud of that shot, I'm sure, if he's watching the game. Better yet, if Viv is actually following us on 1WSR.com, that'll be even better. But anyways, off the back foot, Faf showing the maker's name and caressing it to the bottom.
Yes. Khan Tanvi on YouTube says, stay home, which is, we should be telling everyone this.
What we are doing.
Yes.
Rumors of a alcohol ban have surfaced again on social media. So, is that happening possibly in South Africa? I'm sure Uncle Cyril will have a family meeting soon enough before New Year's.
Story is
we're supposed to have a family.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a family meeting sometime in the next couple of days. For all those international viewers, a family meeting is our coronavirus updates from the president.
It's our White House press briefing, except we don't have a 5'4" blonde giving it. We actually have our president giving it for us, telling us what's happening. We love you, Cyril. Yeah, no, that's why I asked my dad before I arrived in Cape Town. I said, if anything, make sure there's a case of Castle Lights waiting for me upon arrival. And he did that, very reluctantly so, but we made sure we got ourselves covered beforehand.
Have you tried Devil's Peak lights?
1 minute to go before lunch.
I prefer it over
I
Castle
love
Light.
Devil's Peak. Love it.
There we go.
I know. I should have known. You are a beer aficionado. I should have been asking you. But I know the minute I start bringing up these craft beers to my dad, he's not going to know what I'm talking about. So,
okay.
I stuck with the.
Last ball of the session. It's down the leg side from Vishwa Fernando, and Faf helps it on to that fine leg boundary. Went very fine for another 4 to the South Africans. That ends the lunch session. But before you go, there's some interesting news that has just come through from the Proteas camp. Kagiso Rabada has been called up to the Proteas test squad. He's been medically cleared of the right abductor muscle strain injury, which saw him ruled out of the Betway ODI series against England last month. He will join the test squad, which is currently on day 3 of the first Betway test match against Sri Lanka from today. So that probably he took his test 2 days ago, and so he's passed, and now he's joining the squad, and he'll probably do staggered training up until the end of this test in order for him to be ready to be able to be integrated fully into the squad. So that's a very good 3. He's gone through, yes, they say that he's gone through all of the COVID and pre-biosecure environment entry protocols, and he's expected to enter the BSC before the start of the second session today. So you might see Kagiso in the changing room in the second half. So that's a good thing for the South Africans. And to all our YouTube and Facebook viewers, thank you very much. We'll be back again at 12:35, 12:40 for the start of the lunch session. So do subscribe so you can get notifications when we go live for that session. To our 1WSR viewers, we will be playing the first session of this series to you, to just let you get acquainted of where we started out on. So please do be with us, and we'll be with you in 40 minutes time. Thank you very much from the team this morning, and thank you very much, Ravi Reddy. Have a lovely day in your West Indian kit, and we shall see you in 40 minutes time.